Today I'm going to be talking about the music video Kilmer. If you haven't watched the previous music video analysis I did over a year ago, you should go ahead and check it out after this. A lot of you guys enjoyed it and has a lot to do with the current video I'll be talking about today. Okay, so let's jump into it. If you don't already know, this music video, Kilmer, is the second in a trilogy of music videos performed by the artist Flower. For the sake of my ears, I'll be listening to Miyashita Yu's version of the song as opposed to the original, just because I feel like it's the best version out of all of the covers that I've listened to. As I previously stated, I already covered the third music video in the trilogy called Shama, and if you're wondering why I'm doing the analysis backwards, Shama being the third music video and Kilmer being the second, it's because this is actually the way in which the songs were released. They were released in backwards order so that you just get more context to the characters as their background and story gets revealed. So in this video, I'll be explaining why Kilmer, the main character, ended up in the main setting of the music video Shama, which, in case you haven't seen my latest video or if you haven't seen that specific music video, I'm talking about a prison. She ends up in a prison. So this music video, Kilmer will go over the main origins of the character and the deeds and the crimes that she's committed in order to end up at this prison. Now, with that little bit of context, we can proceed with the actual analysis of the lyrics in the music video of Kilmer. The lyrics are a bit more literal. There isn't as much to interpret as there was in the third music video, Shama, but it's still important to go over both because the lyricist does a really good job of intertwining the visuals in the lyrics to give you even more context than you would have normally. So let's jump right into the music video. So before we can even get to the title screen, we start putting pieces together. It's obvious the setting is some sort of religious place, and right as the title screen starts, you get a subtle but very clever change in the main character's appearance. This is meant to show that she most likely grew up in this setting, as her hair starts off short, then in the last frame, it's very much grown out with a small braid. It's very obvious here that she's growing up in harsh conditions, most likely a prison with the shackles and steel bars. Now, as the song continues, the words from the lyrics "virgin" are thrown in your face, capital letters across the screen. You can't miss it. This is meant to mean that the main character, Kilmer, is of innocence and purity, as the word virgin portrays. This is a motif that will be present throughout the video as she transitions from innocent to corrupt. Now, taking a more literal approach to the analysis, obviously these corrupt men are breaking into the church that Kilmer and her family is living in. And maybe you're asking, why are these men doing this to this specific group of people? Well, it seems to be some sort of fantasy world where elf-like people exist. If you didn't see Kilmer's pointed ears and horns in the man's hand, there seems to be some social hierarchy where unfortunately elves are at the bottom, which also explains her awful living conditions and why she has to hide her face in crowds. So basically her mother is murdered by these men. And she unfortunately is taken prisoner as a slave, and this is where her purity starts to change for obvious reasons. But one thing about this segment that stood out to me was the phrase, "there is no love." In Japanese, it sounds extremely similar to eye for an eye in English. Let's listen to it one more time. Only way I was able to find this out is from looking at the lyrics, and it seemed like a lot of people in the comments also agreed with me on this. At first, I thought the lyrics were eye for an eye until I started doing my analysis, and I realized those weren't actually the words. The words are, "there is no love." So as I mentioned before, purity is a very strong theme in this video. As you can see, the other female slaves are wearing black dresses, meant to explain how they have been corrupted, whereas the main character is still wearing her white gown. Along with that, a very sick and twisted thing that traffickers would often do is braid the slaves' hair, as it was shown to be more youthful while also mocking them as well. It was a way for these men to show their power and abuse over these women. Now, the girl with the twin braids tries to hand Kilmer a glass of wine. However, Kilmer's friend stops her from drinking it, informing her that it's in fact poison. While there isn't that much context, the twin braided girl tried to poison Kilmer because she was jealous that Kilmer became the main male character's favorite subject. Once again, showing how twisted and corrupt these circumstances can make someone. And once again, as I said before, all these female characters are elves, as you can tell by their ears, which this further backs up my statement that I made about how it's most likely a separate species being oppressed or objectified. She then decides to pour the poison on the sword. Where she gets the sword from, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. But she then proceeds to walk through the party holding the sword. And it doesn't really seem like anyone notices this, which is very odd to me. They're just kind of like chilling in the background. But anyway, this shows her loss of innocence. She is now wearing a black dress like the rest of the corrupted and twisted girls in the video. And I don't really have to explain this part, it's pretty literal. But there we go again with the eye for an eye line that's perfectly put in place as Kilmer is attempting to avenge her mother. However, right as she is about to put in the final blow, she hesitates because she realizes she's just becoming the same monster as he is by killing. She sees a vision of her mother encouraging her and comforting her, letting her know that by killing this awful man, that doesn't mean she's anything like him. that's the story. It's about slavery, the loss of innocence, and revenge. Let me know if I missed anything in the analysis, and leave a comment as well. Do you want me to do more of these, or do you want me to do the last music video in the trilogy? It's up to you. Just leave a comment, let me know how you liked it, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks. Oh, and before I go, make sure to like, subscribe, check out my normal music video analysis, because that's my most popular video. So must mean it's like kind of decent. So anyway, bye.